So in our community, on the full moon day, usually in the evening, we have a special loving kindness and compassion meditation. But because today is the full moon and it's also our Sunday Sangha, we thought we would combine them. So that's why we have music. So there'll be some music today, as you've already heard. So the opening verse do you want to what was the opening verse again? I know you've committed it to memory. The Dharma body is bringing Morty light. That is your true mind, is bringing light. Yes. Keep going.
In concentration or is it?
No, the one you did before me.
Oh.
Before the talk. Sorry.
The song is invited to return to our breathing.
So that's our practice of mindful breathing.
Bill, can you turn your microphone on? So that our collective energy of mindfulness will bring us together as an organism, going as a river with no more separation. Let the whole Sangha breathe as one body, be free as one body, generate peace as one body. Let us transcend the boundaries of the delusive self, liberating from the superiority complex, the inferiority complex, and the equality complex.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's sort of the aim of our practice, right? To develop this capacity to feel connected, to feel part of, to not feel separated from. Both when we sit here as a community, Sangha as one body, but also in our life with whomever we are relating to. And of course, it does say the thing about being free of the inferiority, superiority, equality complexes, which are all the complexes of self, of ego, as we say. Now, in the Buddhist path, we have two means, and they work together. They complement each other, and they really are, at the deepest level, the same. One is the wisdom path, where we really look into the nature of our minds, look into the nature of ourselves, look into the nature of thoughts and feelings and perceptions, look into these various ego complexes to see more deeply who and what we really are. And often much of our suffering comes from misidentification. We don't identify with who we really are. We identify who we think we are, or we've been taught we are. So that's sort of the wisdom side, developing wisdom, going through life as a wise, intelligent person, able to navigate life with discernment. All in the purpose of what? Not suffering. Not suffering within oneself and not causing suffering to others. But there's another very important part of that, which is the other, in Buddhism we talk, you've probably heard it, there are two wings, a bird with one wing and will just go fly in circles. Bird with two wings will fly wherever it wants. So one wing is the wing of wisdom, the other wing is the wing of compassion, loving kindness. Right. The two of them work together. Now, sometimes people think that the path of loving kindness and the path of compassion is like a secondary. Main thing is wisdom, main thing is meditation. But that's not true, because to truly become a loving, compassionate human being is to be a person who is not focused on oneself, who's not overly self-concerned, self-obsessed, self-identified with, right? It's a heart mind that can look outside itself and to see what's going on around it. And our challenge as human beings, since we are lay people, we interact all the time, family, friends, work, society. The question is, how do I relate to all this? You know what I'm talking about? All of this? All the stuff that just goes on. Both within ourselves. How do I relate to what goes on inside of me? How do I relate to what's going on with the people around me? How can I relate to the society as large? How do I enter the world skillfully and not making it worse, but making it better? Right? So again, one side, the wisdom, the discernment, the intelligence, the insightfulness, very helpful. But the other side, as important, is the quality of our hearts. And as I sort of alluded to earlier, many of us in the course of our life, rather than our hearts opening, our hearts have closed. And I often, if we can remember, and for some it's way back, what it's like to be a young child, or if you've been around young children, when they're really young, they tend to be very what? Open. Happy. Smiling. Right? So that's us, you see. That's us. Before it all happened. Whatever it is that happened, before it all happened. Now for some, that bliss of innocence and happiness of childhood and openness was able to last for a decent amount of time. For some people it might have gotten distorted or closed down early on, right? We all have a different, but we all began in the same place. Right? And again, because for oftentimes the process of closing has taken time and has become sort of the way we relate to the world, we don't even realize that we carry a very closed heart. That open, innocent, natural, loving heart that is what we really truly are, has over time shut down, closed down, gotten smaller, constricted. And we think where we are right now is the way we are. I mean, is that clear? But it's not the way we are. It is the way we become. Right? And so the Buddhist teaching helps us understand all the causes and conditions that have brought us to this time in our life, in the moment, and all the things that have happened. And it understands what the causes and conditions that have supported that. But, that's not enough. Because we want to return home. Right? We want to recapture that capacity that we all have to have an open, loving, caring heart. And not only because it's our natural birthright or where we started, but because in a very selfish way, it feels good. Right? I mean, if one wants to just feel good, go through the day and feel good. So just close your eyes. When you go through the day angry and resentful and ungrateful, how does that feel? Just close your eyes. I mean, just kind of review. How does that feel? When you go through the day carrying resentments, how does that feel? When When you go through your day worried and anxious, how does that feel? When you go through your day nurturing disappointments and hurts, sadnesses, how does that feel? So again, this is not advanced psychology. This is all something we know. So just close your eyes. How does that feel in your own experience? When your heart is burdened, when your heart is shut down, when your heart is just nurturing its wounds, how does that feel? And for some of us, these are not wounds and hurts and resentments, from today. We nurture them from what? Days ago, weeks ago, months ago, years ago. Right? We continue to nurture these mind states that only harm us, rob us of our capacity to be happy. So it's important that we reflect in this way, so we understand that often the heart-mind that we work with every day is not our natural mind. It's not our natural way of being. It is something that is just unfolded in our life because of cause and conditions, and because we didn't really know what was happening and the effects of how it was going to affect us. We arrive at a certain point in our life where it again feels kind of natural, or this is just the way I am. Or else we know there's something wrong, and yet we don't know what to do about it, right? Which can also be the case. So at least in the Buddhist tradition, that is understood. So there is a whole body of practice and teachings that helps us learn how to reopen and connect. Which means it doesn't matter what has happened up to now or what the state of our heart is now, we all have this capacity to heal and grow and develop. Is that clear? This is important to know. Our natural state, and again, everyone here has had moments where their heart has been open. Anybody here ever been kind to anybody? Just on a random basis. Anybody ever be kind to anybody? How do you feel when you're kind to somebody? How do you feel? Terrible? When you help another human being, how does it feel? Yes. So we know that, and all of us know that. So it's important that we realize naturally and spontaneously it does burst forth, this good heart of ours, right? No matter what's happened, it does burst forth. The trouble is it's random and intermittent. Just the way mindfulness or being present, right, is random and intermittent, right? Unless we retrain the mind to be mindful. Again, when we were 2 years old, we lived in the present moment. Right? We never heard about Buddhism, we never heard about mindfulness, but we lived in the present moment. Right? But then again, lots happened up here. But now we live in distraction. So again, in the same way we can retrain the mind to learn to be present and aware, right? We can retrain our hearts. Is that clear? I mean, this is, if you don't believe that, then the practices and the teachings will not help you much because they won't get in too deep. See, many people these days, they do practices. Do everybody know what that is? You know, we kind of do meditation practices. We do mindfulness practices. We do loving kindness practices. We do compassion practices, right? As if that's the same thing as what this is really about, which is developing a mind of love, a mind of compassion, a mind of kindness, a mind of gratitude, a mind that's aware, a mind that's present. I mean, is that clear? The practices are to develop something in us. It's not about the practices. You know, and it's just a good example. It's like exercising. Why do you exercise? Why do you go through these things in exercise? Is it you're training for the Olympics? You know? No, we do these exercises. Why? What? So we can have a healthy body, right? If we're doing exercises all the time, but we don't feel better in the body, then what's the use of exercising? You know, it's great that we work out and we go 3 hours a day or whatever we do, but if we don't feel better in our body, you know, then it's just an exercise over here, but it doesn't really bring benefit to us. So in the same way, when we do these various kinds of meditative practices, spiritual practices, but if we're not becoming a different kind of person with a different kind of mind, a different kind of heart, it hasn't really, the fruits haven't really entered us yet. Is that clear? It's like, you know, it's like you go through all this effort, you make a delicious meal, and you sit down at the table, and it's right there in front of you, but you don't eat it. You don't eat it. It doesn't get inside. You don't get the real enjoyment. So, any questions about that? Anybody want to contest it? Anybody want to stand up for the closed, constricted heart? See, we laugh. Why do we laugh? Because in the light of day, that seems ridiculous. Why would somebody do that? And yet, if we're honest and we look at our behavior during the day or life, oftentimes we do hold on to the restricted heart, the constricted heart, the unloving heart, the ungrateful heart, the wounded heart. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, we all know this, right? And so it's important we don't bring this up to consciousness so we can feel bad, right? It's so, I get it. Yeah, there's something else I got to be doing and not doing if I really want to have an open heart. Is that clear? Yeah. So let's work with that today, okay? A few minutes. So the first thing, before traditionally we do the practices of loving kindness and compassion, we do the practices of equalization. Because in this practice, the spontaneous caring compassion for a few people is there for most of us. Is that clear? You know, if we look around our world, there are a few people out of the 8 billion, right, who we do really care about and we go out of our way to be kind to and supportive of and loving to. Is that clear and helpful to? Yeah, so we see that we have that capacity. The problem is, and what we want to be able to do, is to enter the world that way, to relate to all people that way. I mean, not with the perhaps the depth that you do for family and close friends. I mean, it's not like that, but a more general, entering the world as if you're greeting everybody as a friend. Right? They don't have to be your best friend, but they're a friend. I mean, they're family, they're maybe third cousins, but they're family. Yeah. To greet them with that kind of friendliness, caring. And if they're suffering, to want to help them. All the things that we naturally do for those we care about in our practice, we're trying to learn I can open that. I was down visiting family yesterday, 2 days ago in Naples. We were swimming at the beach, and I was kind of swimming in. I kind of came up to the shore, poked up my head, and there was this little 5-year-old girl there. Hi. I mean, she just didn't miss a beat, she wasn't shut down. And she just started talking to me. Telling me about, she's from Oregon, and they don't have beaches like that. And, it was just, I was really wonderstruck. Wow, how wonderful. Because these days kids, parents don't be, she was like totally open. It's like, and I just came out, it was like a head popped up. And she didn't miss a beat. It was like, hi, just very friendly, open, told me about herself and life and how much she loves the beach, shells, and I was so struck by there it is. There it is. Just the open heart, open mind, just present. And it hadn't been what? Shut down yet. Hadn't been told to beware. Yeah, very precious. So let us close your eyes for a moment. And again, this is sort of brief today, right? This is a lifetime of practice. So the first thing we want to do is what's called equalization, right? And there are many ways in the Buddhist tradition, there are meditations, but the simplest one is just the reflection of everyone is just like me. So imagine in your imagination, whether you're a good visualizer or you just imagine you're a good visualizer, just imagine just a whole bunch of people. They can be kind of real people from your work or from your school or family, neighborhood, You just see a bunch of people. And you say to yourself, they're all just like me. They all want to be happy. None of them want to suffer. They're just like me. They're just like me. They don't want their family to suffer. They don't want their friends to suffer. They want their family and friends to be happy. Just like me. They're just like me. Your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousins, your children, your friends, your family members. No matter, whether you like them or don't like them, whether they've been wonderfully kind to you or the opposite. Look at them, be aware of them, and think, underneath all that, they're just like me. They want to be happy. They may not know how to be happy, but they want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. They're just like me. Pick somebody that you may have a difficult time with historically or now. Even though there's some drama going on there or has gone on there. When you look at them more deeply, you can see they're just like me. They want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. They may not know how to be happy. They may not know how to stop their suffering. But if you ask them, I'm sure they say, yeah, I'd like to be happy in this life. I'd rather be free of suffering in this life. And now come back to yourself. And as you become aware of yourself, ask yourself, is it true that I want to be happy in this life? In my relationships? In my work? Whatever I do, that's true. Is it true? I want to be happy. I want to be at peace. I want to have an open heart, loving heart. I want to connect. Is that true? At the same time, ask yourself, is it true? I don't want to suffer. I don't want to have a mind covered with afflictions, fear, anger, resentment, sadness, hurt, despair. No, I don't want that kind of mind. Is that true? Sometimes we haven't reflected deeply in this way. Really asked ourselves, honestly, do I really want to be happy in this lifetime? Do I want to go through the day with a good mind, an open mind, a loving mind, a carefree mind? Is that really my aspiration or intention? Some of us, we've had this reflection. Some of us, it may be new, talking to ourselves in this way. It's important to see that we have a choice here. Our mindful self-awareness allows us to be aware of the mind states that we carry with us through the day. Our mindful self-awareness allows us to have criteria: wholesome, unwholesome, healthy, unhealthy, wanted, not wanted. This is our inner freedom. But many of us don't know we have that freedom. or perhaps are not ready to exercise that freedom. As I said earlier, the history of our heart is the history of the unfolding of causes and conditions in our life. But if we change the causes and the conditions, our heart will change. Of that, there's no doubt. But for many of us, we have to be ready and willing to take the steering wheel, take the rudder of our life, especially our mind and heart, and not let it go where it's conditioned to go, but to go where we consciously want it to go. And that's what a spiritual path is about. Becoming conscious, waking up. So let us exercise our hearts a little bit, beginning with ourselves. Please imagine that in front of you, there's you. See yourself as you see yourself in the mirror or in some other way, but there's you, sitting or standing in front of you. And as you look deeply into them, from your heart you send them the good wishes. You're sending this now to yourself. May I be happy. And you say it like you mean it, not like a formula. May I be happy. May I have a peaceful mind. May I have an open heart. May I be happy in my life. May I be free of suffering. You say it like you mean it. May I be free of suffering. Suffering means afflictive emotions. Afflictive mind states. I want to be free of those. Or looking at yourself, you say, yeah, I want you to be free of them. It's important that we begin with ourselves. Often we neglect him or her in our loving kindness and compassion. Loving kindness is we want someone to be happy. We want to do what we can to establish them in happiness, well-being. Do we want that for ourselves? Again, it's easy to just say yes, of course, but do I really mean it? In the same way with, ending our suffering, ending afflictive emotions and within our heart mind. Do I want to be free of all that? weary of those mind states. It's a very personal question. May I be happy. May I be free of suffering. Very powerful words. They give direction to our life, to the things we do, to the way we show up. Does this mind state, does this train of thought that I'm cultivating, consciously or unconsciously, does this support my happiness and well-being in my life? Or does it only sustain my unhappiness? Does it sustain the afflictive mind states? If you don't believe it's possible for yourself, it's very hard to practice with enthusiasm. In Buddhism, all these mind states that cover our hearts, they're actually called that. They're called coverings, kleshas. They're coverings. They're not the real thing. Do I really want to take off these coverings and return home? And next, see if you can try this one. Again, if you're a good imaginer and visualizer, you can do it. If not, just imagine you are. Bring to mind 3 people. On one side is somebody who's on your good side. Somebody you like, family, friends, somebody you kind of naturally are connected with, okay? In the middle is somebody's neutral. Could be just somebody, you pass at work or in the store, Publix, you're neutral toward them, not positive or negative. And on the other side is somebody you have an aversive relationship with. You have a negatives toward them. So you see, we have the 3 people, the 3 types of people, which is really the way we categorize everyone. We either put them in our good side, we put them on our bad side, and most of them are just in the neutral, indifferent side. So remember, we did everyone is just like me earlier, right? They all want to be happy, nobody wants to suffer. So now, see these 3 people as representatives of these 3 types of people, and see if you can, the same way you did for yourself, you can look at them and from your heart, mind, you send them the good wishes. I want you to be happy. May you be happy. That's what I want for you. May you be free of suffering, of affliction. That's what I want for you. So we're practicing getting beyond our conditioned dividing up the world to the few we like, the few we hate, and most that we're indifferent to, and we're sinking. Can I begin to generate just good wishes for everyone? May everyone be happy, irrespective of political party, irrespective of social views. See, it's like getting beyond all that, seeing the fundamental humaneness of people. So again, see if you can send toward these three different people the energy of loving kindness, which means I want you to be happy, I wish you to be happy. So a practice like this kind of exercises our heart, opens our heart. Now, before we stop and take a few questions, just imagine for 2 minutes that as you go through this week, whatever your week is, whoever you deal with, situation, work, school, family, home, that you went through this week with this kind of mind. Just imagine, in a very practical way, what that would be like. That your mind, all your encounters with every human being you encounter is, I want them to be happy. I don't want them to suffer. I want to do anything I can to support their happiness, and I don't want to do anything, unless it's necessary to support their suffering. I want to bring goodness into this life. That's the way I want to enter the world every day. Just close your eyes and imagine what would that be like in the reality of your life with all your encounters with whoever you encounter, that was your wish. That was in your mind. Whatever you do. May this bring benefit to people, whatever you do. And notice how that feels as a mind to take into your life. To all your encounters, and again, we are people who are in relationship. We're always encountering people. I can't control how they are, but I can exercise control over me, my heart, mind. With your week, with your encounters with everyone, people you live with, all the way the people you encounter at work, school, out in the community, would it be different if you approach your day with a different mindset? So in a few minutes, our Metta Choir is going to invite us with some songs. But before then, any questions? I mean, it all sounds good, right? Any questions about implementation? Anybody see obstacles, challenges? please feel free, because it's got to be practical. Online, just chat it into Brian. Here's a question here. Yes, but we have people. How many people are online today, Brian?
We have 86.
Okay. So for those of us in the hall, we're being watched. And for those online, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 people in the hall today. Yes.
Hi. So first time, and it appears that this was tailored for me because this is specifically what I'm trying to accomplish.
Good.
Opening my heart.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that there's many practices to do this. Can you give me one to start with?
That's the equalization where we started is just like me. I mean, there are other variations on that, but that's a great to encounter everybody and just look at them and go, they're just like me. I don't care what's happening, who they are, where it's showing up. Underneath, they want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. They're just like me. That process of establishing that kind of relationship with all beings is very powerful practice. Okay? Because usually, again, we like some, and often those we like, we end up not, like, dislike, we dislike and we're indifferent. So that equalization is very powerful practice. And the other thing, again, is this meditation, of really wishing well-being to everyone. That really changes your heart, including you. I mean, there are many people who just through that practice of loving kindness have changed their relationships with people. I mean, I could go on and on, but those are, there are many practices. Stick around for a while. You'll hear about it. We do retreats on them. We do workshops. So, but those two. We always think by getting more, but it's just doing the simple stuff. Okay, thank you.
We have a question online, Fred.
Yes.
From Kathy.
Yes.
She says, when wishing happiness to someone whose views do not agree with me, I find myself assuming that if they were truly happy, they would agree with me. Comments?
Well, I think the problem is they probably assume the same thing about you. And that's the problem. Yes. There's, in the Buddhist teachings on love, a love that is tinged with self is considered an impure love. What is a love that's tinged with self? It sort of plays out as, I want you to be happy in the way that I want you to be happy. Anybody know that kind of love and caring? People have it for their partners, people have it for their family, people have it for their children, right? Their mothers, their fathers. Yeah. You see you see how conditional that is and narrow that is? The real open-heartedness is, I want you to be happy in the way that you want to be happy. I want to support your happiness. Now again, there's common sense there. If somebody gets happy by, raping and pillaging, I don't think it makes them happy. So I'm using that as extreme. Yeah, that's not the kind of happiness that we wish for people. But we understand everybody's different. Everybody has their own ideas. Everybody has their own karma. Yeah, we want people to be genuinely happy in the way that is meaningful to them. Right. And so we have to let go of conditions. It doesn't seek outcome. That's another kind of ego taking, hijacking the heart. It's like, well, I'm being kind to them. The least they can do is be kind to me. You know that one? I'm grateful to them. Why aren't they grateful to me? So, and we do that a lot in many different ways, They didn't thank me. It was such a good, nice thing I did, and they didn't even thank me. Can you believe it? So, all that kind of conditional stuff is we're looking outside for affirmation, rather than inside. Why do we cultivate a good heart? Because it feels good and it's the right thing to do. We do it for ourselves. Now, we know, hopefully, that it may be benefit to others, but it may not, right? But that doesn't matter. So we're not attached to outcome. You know, we're cultivating a good heart because we want to have a good heart. You know, the sun shines. It doesn't expect I mean, everything on earth depends on the sun, right? Is the sun up there going, hey, how come they're not worshiping me anymore? You remember hundreds of years ago they used to worship me, you know, make offerings to me, you know. What happened to those ungrateful human beings? You know? They don't even notice me anymore. They take me for granted. Now I realize that the sun is inanimate. I mean, I'm not. But again, it's, you know, our natural heart, just allow it to shine. Right? Don't make it conditional. So why don't we stop here? Because I know, and this is enjoyable. Again, for those who come to our, can the Meta Choir come up? For those who come on the monthly, you know, we've enjoyed this, and they'll be passing out song sheets. So you're welcome to join in. And the songs are all related to loving kindness and compassion. So it's kind of our theme today. Some of them come from traditional Buddhist texts. Some of them come from the Thich Nhat Hanh Plum Village tradition. I'm not sure what they're going to be offering today. Thank you.
So some lyric sheets are being handed around. We'll be singing 4 songs.
Do you have a microphone or something so people online can hear you?
Say we have lyric sheets handed around. Let's keep up there. And the first song we're going to do is Shantideva's Chant of the Bodhisattva. Around 1,500 years ago or so, Shantideva wrote about the way of the Bodhisattva, the way of someone who is aspiring to be a Buddha in some future life. And at the end of his writings are these aspirations that may my efforts bring about these things. And that's what this chant is about. So please, if you're familiar with it, chant along. You can mumble along if you'd like, whisper along if you'd like. Just let the words flow through. If you're into singing it, you'll notice there's a little hat on some syllables, and other syllables there's 2 little hats. If it's 1 hat, that means you go up 1 note. If it's 2 hats, you go up 2 notes. And there's 3 lines of each verse. The final line, it drops down a little bit. So just sing along, as I say, and enjoy.
Shanti Deva's way of the Bodhisattva. as all Buddhas embrace the awakened mind, just as they embody all Bodhisattva practices. For the sake of all, I do adopt the spirit of enlightenment and will follow the way of the Bodhisattva.
Next, we will sing "We Are All the Leaves of One Tree." Should be able to turn that over, and I believe it's on the right-hand side. And it's continuing this idea of we are all part of a great thing, interbeing. We are all interrelated with each other. We start with we are all the leaves of one tree, we are all the waves of one sea, stars of one sky. As we sing this, each verse has that line repeated, you'll notice, and then it says, the time has come for all to live as one. We do those three aspirations, then we do a la-la verse where we just hum along, sing along, la-la along. And in the final verse, we do everything. The first line is, we are all the leaves of one tree. The second line is, we are all the waves of one sea. The third line is, the time has come for all to live as one. And the fourth line is, we are all the stars of one sky.
We are all the leaves of one tree. We are all the leaves
And right next to it on that sheet is a song about how we are part of everything. I am a cloud. It's a little more personal sort of thing. There's two parts to this song. The first part, and we're going to repeat everything twice, to repeat everything. So the first time is once. The second part is done twice. It ends the first time with mindfully, let us walk mindfully, and the second part ends with joyfully. Sing along.
I am a cloud. I am the blue sky. I am a bird spreading out its wings. I am a flower. I am the sunshine. I am the earth receiving a seed. And I am free when my heart is open. I am free when my mind is still. Oh dear brother, oh dear sister, let's walk together mindfully. And I am free when my heart is open. I am free when my mind is still. Oh dear brother, oh dear sister, let's walk together joyfully. I am a cloud. I am the blue sky. I am a bird spreading out its wings. I am a flower. I am the sunshine. I am the earth receiving a seed. And I am free when my heart is open. I am free when my mind is still. Oh dear brother, oh dear sister, let's walk together mindfully. And I am free when my heart is open. I am free when my mind is still. Oh dear brother, oh dear sister, let's walk together joyfully.
And we'll finish up with Tim Ham's Meta Song right above that. We've done it quite often here. Please sing along if you're up to it.
May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful and at ease.
today, I know Bill has maybe an announcement too, just something that was not mentioned, for those of you who are used to going into our garden and those who are new, there's been a major transformation going on back there. You may want to check it out.
Thank you, Fred, for the talk. Thank you, Metachoir. Thank you, everyone, for singing along.